Okay. So I'm Jam,
I'm Cons, and we are
and we
both
are
just
just
pros.
two bros interested in finance. That's about it. So, how's your day been? What have you been up to in this beautiful Saturday?
Not much, man. The market is closed, right? Hella boring. Another
Yeah, so
weekend.
not much to talk about. I mean, crypto is open.
Crypto is always open. Crypto never sleeps,
Crypto is
right?
always open. I even have that little screen that I have, like just like prices are running
I
in the
don't know how you
background.
don't go crazy with this. Honestly, that would drive me crazy if I had that on a stock, for example, like a live ticker 24/7.
Yeah, yeah, it is. No, no, no. I can switch it to crypto like the American market as well. Yesterday when I told you that I gave an order to 182 to Google, right? I saw it and it was 186. I was like 186. I didn't even see it from my phone. So I was like maybe it drops to 182. So like I gave an order, but of course it was cancelled because it didn't drop to there. But yeah, anyways,
It
that
did.
was
It
it.
did.
But that screen is
It did drop. Google dropped quite a bit even after we talked yesterday. Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
dropped
it
another
did.
percent, so that really surprised me as well.
It just did not drop to the price that I wanted to buy from, but I feel like Google in general is quite cheap now.
I think in general, it's in a pretty good position.
Yeah, 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 I wanted
Um,
to buy it from 182. That's why.
yeah. I think like this between 180, 185 is a pretty good buying position.
I
Whatever
think
you're
so as well.
grabbing there, yeah. I think you're gonna be fine in the next couple of months. Just reconsolidation,
100%.
I think.
I think in general, just like I don't ever think that Google is going to drop to 160s again. Not in the near future, at least. I feel like.
Hopefully not, right? For me
Hopefully,
at least. For me at least.
I don't own any, but you own some, so.
Yeah, for you, if you wanna obviously grab some, of course, 160 would be a nice dip. But if
Oh
it
yeah,
really
100%. But
drops 160, I would definitely buy extra as well. I
oh
think.
yeah, 100%. But your average was 140 something, right?
Actually, I can check for you 135 euros, so like 140 USD around there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. That's a really good price. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit jealous of you in that sense. I wish I would have bought
Yes, sometimes you
Google in that
catch the
price as
dip.
well.
Like
Yeah.
it was literally I caught the perfect dip of that 2 3 day thing. And I think you're lucky, my position on trying to catch the dip and stuff like this. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's like, oh, you're always trying, of course, but uh, like for me, when I bought this dip, it was for me an entrance position, right? I was willing to buy more if it dropped more, right? But
But it just
fortunately,
kept
or
going.
yeah, but fortunately or unfortunately in this case, I guess, it went back up, right, and never dropped. So gotta keep holding. I wish it was a bigger position, by the way, because it's less than
Yeah,
five
right. Yeah,
percent.
yeah.
So, but winnings are winnings, so can't hate on it, right? Can't hate on it.
Exactly. So we just dived into stocks right away, but this is
Yeah.
our very first episode. So do you want to just like give talk about who you really are? Like who are you? What do you
So
do?
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just a chill guy, right? Interest in finance, mostly stocks, of course, some crypto, keeping it on the sideways a little bit. But I'm mostly interested in stocks. I like risky investments. I'm not gonna lie. I think half my portfolio is kind of risky, obviously. I love the Chinese market, which is maybe the complete polar opposite of what you do, right?
Yeah.
Um, Meaning talking
Yeah.
about stocks. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the American and European market, and I like to find maybe early trends or obviously value investing. Um, but yeah, just buying quality stocks. I guess for the future,
Yeah.
stocks you can hold for 10 or 15 years. But I also do buy stocks that I'm like, oh, I want to sell them in a year or two, or
Hmm.
even a couple months, and then I easily do that. But yeah, that's pretty much my go-to on making
Yeah,
money,
like
right?
Our investment philosophy is more or less the same in terms of that. Like you do value investment as well, but at least in terms of stocks, you do riskier investments than me. To be fair, like you do invest in Chinese market, which is like mad for me. To be
I-
fair,
I- yeah, of course. I know, like, of course, from a personal level, right? We both know, or I know how you stand with the Chinese market. But like,
mm.
I think obviously obviously there's a risk in the Chinese market. We can't deny
Yeah,
that. But it depends on how much you think it is of a risk, right? I think your
yeah,
risk taking on the Chinese market is a lot higher than mine. Obviously, if
hmm
I'm like 50% in it, right? I think my allocation in China alone is around 40 to 45%. So it's nearly half. And obviously it's risky being already half of the portfolio in one country. But I think like in general, the China risk is not that great, like just because China being China.
hmm
Um, I think you can have the same risks in American market, obviously, like a complete housing crash, for example, or financial
hmm
crisis, which I don't know, like, if you look at the S&P 500 for the last 20 years, of course, now we're going off topic a little bit, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
it's
no, no, I know,
starting
I
to
know.
look like the spike is too high up for me, and
Yeah, right now it is a bit.
maybe something is imminent to happen. I mean, we had the COVID crash, which for me was
Yeah,
really
COVID crash was a nice crash to buy in general,
to buy, yeah, but
but
it wasn't really a real crash, it just happened because
yeah.
of a pandemic, and I guess
hmm
I don't know.
So let me just start with myself again. I'm Jam.
Yeah.
In terms of stocks, like unlike you, I don't do risky investments that much. Value investing is really important for me. Like I don't think that I buy like risky stuff. Like the riskiest thing I buy is like I think from the Turkish market,
Hmm.
which is, but like I feel like it's still more stable than Chinese market. I would say so. But yeah, other than that, I can't give you much of a complaint on that because most of my portfolio is in cryptos.
Nice, nice.
Like that's just like if I'm giving you hard time on Chinese market, I should take care of myself as well because I feel like crypto might be riskier in a sense.
It can definitely be, right? When
Yeah,
your
yeah,
stock
crypto
drops
market is not
50%.
fun. Yeah, at least in crypto market, I don't do futures too much. I do a little bit of futures, but I mostly do spot trading. So I just buy and wait. And I
Hmm.
always buy right after the bull ends. So like the last bull ended like around 2021, beginning of 2022, right? Maybe even mid 2022. So
Hmm.
I started buying things there. Now I'm just like waiting and waiting more. But yeah, I told you I sold half of my bitcoins, but that was it. I'm still waiting for it to go higher, actually.
I think honestly right now, I mean I check the Bitcoin price. I check it automatically daily, right? By just opening my app, really,
Yeah.
because it's on the home page. But it's been really going, I mean, I think you saw between the 100, 110 range, right? Um, I think like because of this sideways position, I'm really unsure where Bitcoin goes. What do you think? Like what's the next projection, like couple of months? Um,
Uh,
this
so you want
between
to dive in with
90 and
crypto?
110K, right? Like I don't
I
know. It's
mean,
a really interesting position right now.
right now, crypto is not gonna lie. You know of me as a philosophy behind crypto as well. I believe in crypto in general. Like I believe in that it's gonna change. Like it's gonna be a financial alternative to the normal currencies that we have, to euros and everything. I believe in that. But at the same time, right now, Bitcoin or in general cryptos are not looking good because like they give you something, right? And then they take it away with like they give you 10%, but they take 20% back.
Hmm.
So right now crypto is a bit pessimistic and it's like not trustable. But I still do think that, and even though I'm a person who believes in crypto, if I'm feeling like this, I think this is an indicator that it's gonna have a huge run. I
Hmm.
feel like. So this is and also we had this like Ripple bull as well, which is a bit of an indicator for a good crypto bull run as well.
You really
But
surprised me,
I
by the
don't
way.
know.
This Ripple run
Huh?
really, the Ripple run really blew my mind.
Oh yeah, look, I'm telling
It's
you, I had
crazy.
an average of 65 cents of Ripple.
Yeah.
And right now, last time I checked, it was like 290 something, and the highest it saw was like free something. Right now, Ripple is 240 something at this very moment, but yeah, I believe in crypto. I think it's gonna go higher. I'm telling you, my price range for me to sell all my bitcoins is at least 180. Maybe not 180, but like 160. I'm waiting for 160s, and also Ethereum didn't go well. It's just like staying still. Ethereum did not have big of a rush,
Any
big
price
of a
turn,
run.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
It
we are
barely
waiting in
reached an
crypto market.
all-time high, actually,
Yeah,
just
it
about.
it actually did not even reach all
Oh
time high.
yeah.
Like it didn't see 4,000s. I think all time high
Oh
for
yeah,
Ethereum is
yeah,
like
yeah.
around 4,000. Yeah,
I
it
was
didn't
looking
even
at the
reach there, which
foreign
is a bit sad.
exchange rate.
Yeah, all time
But
high
yeah,
is 4,891. Like
yeah.
specifically, like it didn't even reach there. And in every bull run for crypto, nearly every crypto, like the major cryptos like Solana, Ethereum, I don't know, if Litecoin, they all hit all time highs,
Hmm.
but they did not much except Bitcoin and Ripple.
Hmm.
But I'm still waiting. I still have hopes, and people
There's
are talking really badly about crypto, which makes me more hopeful because that's how crypto works.
Yeah, that's actually true. When people are scared
And
or the
also,
Bitcoin price drops, that's when they, oh, it's going back down to 60 or 50,000,
mhm,
whatever.
and it
And it
just
just
skyrockets.
falls. Yeah, it's just for people to buy it at 80 or
Yeah.
90K, and then it goes back up to 110, 120, instantly 20, 30% return.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm waiting for. And I also see a lot of people in cafes, just like coffee shops, checking about crypto as well, which gives me hope too, because people are checking about it.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
I just see people with their laptops, just like doing some crypto stuff, reading about crypto, checking Twitter about crypto, checking Trading View about crypto. This is, in my opinion, mad indicator for this.
There's like this meme where when your taxi driver starts talking about his crypto gains and if you should sell it, that's when you sell. That's when you
Yeah,
sell.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you see, I guess you still see some gains then for the first couple of months of
Mhm.
2024 in crypto and Bitcoin, I guess, in general, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like Ripple increased so much that even though like the money I put for Ripple is maybe like one third of my position in Ethereum, but Ripple increased so much that my Ripple position is bigger than my Ethereum position at this moment.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, Ethereum kinda is giving me hard time, but I believe in it. I think Ethereum is gonna go up to, I would say, 6 7K. Of course, this is not a financial advice for sure. Let's just wait there. But I believe in it. I believe in it. I at least want to believe in it.
That's something we should really say is no financial advice from us too.
Yeah,
Because
we'll
we're
just we'll
just
just
two
put a
bros,
disclaimer.
right? We're just two bros, and but yeah, like honestly, for me, in my mind, talking about last year as well, when we talked about Bitcoin, I think my price range or my price goal was always 120 at least.
Hmm.
And for me, I can see that, right? Like honestly, I can see that. I can see a new. I think it's right. It's consolidating or it's making a nice top now. Of course, could be also an indicator for a nice cheeky sell-off. Um, but yeah, I'm confident as well. I think it's going to go back up 120. Maybe if it reaches 120, even more your direction with like 130, 140. That would be nice. I won't hate on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So okay, I think enough crypto, I would say. I don't know. What do you think?
I I think it's great, bro. I think what we can talk about is interesting earning from this week. Amazon, maybe if you checked it,
Yeah,
insane earnings. What do you think?
but
How is the market
I mean,
reacting to this?
we
It's
always talk
4%
about this
down, right?
value investing, right? About stocks,
Yes.
which I really like and which I only look at. Like I always tell you, like this is the example that I always give you, like Volkswagen, right? Having really hard time in terms of stocks, but I always say it's Volkswagen. Like it's not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna recover. So Amazon, it didn't see any dips. Like it didn't crash or it didn't like it
Uh,
didn't crash.
no, well, crash. It's 4% down. It doesn't matter because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
been
that's what I'm saying.
it's
No. That's what I'm saying. Like it didn't have a crash as in
yeah.
like Nike or Volkswagen did.
No, nothing like this. No, definitely not.
Yeah, yeah. So like I don't understand when the earnings were out, people sold Amazon.
Hmm.
When earnings were when they released their earnings, people sold it.
Oh yeah. I think that
And
was
which
mostly due to the outlook of the company. I think they adjusted their future outlooks. Um, but then again, I don't really understand even why, because the current earnings or the most recent quarter earnings were insane, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. So I
Like
guess the
I don't
future.
understand. Amazon came with really good earnings in my opinion, and I don't understand. Like revenue increased, earnings per share increased like hell.
Earnings per share was an extreme
Like it's like
surprise.
nearly 25% up earnings per
Yeah,
share.
I think
That
what was
is
it?
madness.
550 earnings per share, right? I think I think four
No,
was the
earnings per share.
forecast.
No. Earnings per share forecast was 149, and it turned out to be 186.
Ah, yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at the
yeah.
wrong, yeah. So they beat that easily, right?
They
Uh,
beat it, and they beat that by a
by
quite
like
of a margin. To be fair,
25% pretty much.
yeah. I mean, I don't understand why people sold it. To be fair, but there's a thing
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't like. Sometimes I don't understand it.
the main outlook, I think that was the main sell-off. But then again, if we talk really about sell-off, 4%, I mean, it's really nothing, I think, for Amazon. Like we can talk about a
Oh yeah,
sell-off
four
when,
percent, 4%. I'm telling you, Amazon. I feel like it's still cheap.
oh
Amazon
yeah,
is still cheap, and Amazon is gonna come with really good returns for sure, in my opinion.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna slow down anytime soon. Which
Yeah.
means
So
probably
like, uh,
they will keep making money, right?
yeah, exactly.
But honestly, when you say it's cheap, I think they trade on a 40 PE ratio, which is already edgy on my side. It is quite expensive, but on the other hand, like it's a quality stock, right? It can be expensive. It's
Exactly.
making
Like
hell a
I
lot of
always
money.
tell you
So
this. If I'm gonna buy a stock, like unlike you, I don't sell it in months or I don't sell it even a year. I barely sell my stocks. I nearly only buy, and Amazon is one of the stocks that I would wanna buy and keep it for like 5, 6 years, and I don't think that it would hurt me.
then again, we come back to the point where I say you can buy any of these top companies at any time, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the
You
thing. Like
don't
I
need to
don't
wait for
buy
dips.
companies. Yeah. I don't wait for company. Like I don't buy companies which are not like big companies. Like if you think about it, Amazon, I would say that Amazon started as a kind of like a retail business on the internet, just like selling stuff on their website,
Hmm.
and they turned themselves into a tech company.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. They're really turning into a tech company. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
they're turning themselves into a tech company, and they're a bit of a monopoly as well. Like, can you think of any company that sells stuff on their website and tech like this? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I think they're a monopoly.
Alibaba.
Yeah,
But this is
yeah, that's
why from the different side of the world maybe. But technically, Alibaba and Amazon are not that different because Alibaba holds a
I
lot
know
of
they are not.
all a lot of Chinese tech, right?
Hmm.
I believe WeChat is part of Alibaba, right? Or maybe I'm
I'm
mixing it
not
with
sure
Tencent.
if you say so. I actually don't know.
But yeah, kind of similar. But I think that's what drives this revenue from Amazon, right? This tech change. This is where the huge
Yeah,
revenue
yeah,
comes
with
in.
this like AWS and their AI investments, Amazon is doing a lot of tech stuff, in my opinion.
I like it. I definitely like it what they're doing.
And also, not only the tech stuff, they also have this like a Prime Video. They
Yeah,
are in the
streaming.
entertainment business as well. And also, they own Twitch, which is basically more or less like, especially before Kick came out, Twitch was a monopoly as well, again.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just checking the Qualtrim from the stack analysis. It's insane how
Hmm.
the AWS is growing on Amazon. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
holy damn.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm just blown away by this.
Hmm.
It's fucking crazy. Um,
It's amazing. It's just like steadily growing.
but yeah, coming back to your streaming thing, yeah, I guess it has streaming, but I don't really see it yet with the company.
Yeah, but
We
that's the
talk
thing.
always
Like
about
they have a
Netflix.
competition.
Yeah, that's the problem. And
Exactly, exactly. That's what I was going to say. But the key takeaway here is they have multiple segments that they operate on.
yeah, true. They're really diversifying themselves as well. It's like
Hmm.
buying Amazon, you can buy, it's like buying an ETF or I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Basically, at this point, yeah. But that's about it about Amazon. And like also, if you check the financials of Amazon, price to sales is 377. It's not bad. It's actually quite good. Price to sales, like
hmm
it's good. Free cash flow yield is okay.
hmm
PE ratio into like forward PE ratio for 2026 is like 30, which is acceptable, I guess.
Yeah, so yeah, forward PE ratio 30, PE ratio 49. And for me, for my
Hmm.
personal taste, it's a little bit too expensive right now for like a buy. But then again, if you buy, like I said, like a quality company, you expect it to pay more, right? So it's not like if you
Hmm.
buy right now, you're not. I think in at the end of 2025, you can expect a share price of 250, 260, right? So you're definitely gonna make gains. And even if you don't make the gains, it's just opportunity to buy more, and then you will make the gains
Yeah,
after it's a quality company, right? So
yeah.
I can see that stock a solid 10 to 20% rise this year. So already up 4%
I
year to
would
date.
like
Jesus.
if you were to give a price range for the end of 2025, where would you see Amazon? Where do you see Amazon?
Where do I see Amazon? Yeah, um, I think around 250. Yeah, 250, 260. I don't
250.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's already like it's not that cheap right now. And I think it has a phenomenal last 3 years, right? Or since
Hmm.
2023, the dip is crazy from under $100, $80. It pretty much tripled nearly.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit slowing down. It can be, right? Just adjusting itself. Nothing, no bad signs or anything bad happening, right, for the stock, but
I mean, their free
natural
cash flow
sideway
is a bit
movement is,
questionable. Yeah,
yeah, it's
I
definitely
think
definitely reducing. I've seen that.
yeah, their free cash flow is a bit questionable, but other than that, I feel like it's a value investment, like it's Amazon.
Uh, yeah, yeah, no, no. Like I said, like it's definitely gonna go up. But
Mhm.
all I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if it has a couple of months sideway movement right now. And I think that's what I'm expecting. I don't think it's gonna rise too
Right,
much. Maybe I'm wrong, but like a nice little
but
consolidation,
we'll
like
see.
Like if you check the stock, like it did around 2021, 2022, it didn't rise too much, but it was still like growing. But we
Hmm.
shall see. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
have
shall
another
see.
point, bro. If you want to move on to the next point, I think
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sure, sure.
Amazon really interesting, but let's keep it behind. I have
Yeah.
something, and that's Palantir and Xiaomi. Different companies, obviously, don't have to talk about this, but they had insane gains. I read a little bit into Palantir earlier because we talked about it
Hmm.
again privately, right? And not even knowing what this company does. I still don't really get it, but in my mind, I believe it's something like SAP and Salesforce. So they build these pretty much in-house services, program
Hmm.
services for your company. And I mean, if you check their website, you can see, I don't know if you gain anything from this. It's like against money laundering and security, all the, they cover everything and everywhere. They can cover in every company, in every sector as well, pretty much. Um, but the stock growth is insane, right? Let's talk about this. I guess the stock growth is insane from $7.
Palantir, right? Palantir, since 2024, I think like maybe since 1 year, at most 1.5 years, Palantir has been a really popular company. Not gonna lie, like people are talking about Palantir. You will see tweets on Twitter saying like, "Oh, Palantir is gonna be the stock for the next 5 years. It's gonna increase this much and that much." I just feel like about Palantir, it had this hype. If you look at it, PE ratio right now is like 232. What is that? That's
For
just too much.
for me, it's 580 on Google Finance.
Yeah, that's the right now. But from now on, it shows like 232. In 2026, it says that 201 as a forward PE, and price to sales is $87. That's
Yep.
too much. I feel like, look, I don't have anything against Palantir, uh, but I feel like because of the hype, it's a really overvalued company.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
100%.
it is
I feel
already overvalued
overvalued.
just looking at the PE ratio, right? You're paying
Yeah, yeah. And
200
free
times the
cash flow
price. No.
is 0.45%. That's not much at all. Free cash flow for the last 2 quarters, they could increase their free cash flow, but like they don't have a steady free cash flow. Its price for the last year, yes, it's increasing, but there's like a big slope, nearly 90 degrees. I don't think that this is healthy, and it can dump anytime, in my opinion.
Um, yeah, so I don't really know. Honestly, obviously it's highly overvalued. I think it can dump, obviously, but it recently had its earnings, right? And people
Hmm.
bought
Hmm.
these earnings heavily. I think on the day of earnings went up like 20%.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And that was on the day of earnings. And now it went up pretty much another 15% since earnings. So it's like it's trading at 110, which is crazy, I
Hmm.
think, in my mind. I was looking at the stock at $14. I was looking at it at $40. At $40, I was
Hmm.
actually thinking, wow, I've missed the train, right? But yet again, I would have had over 100% return if I bought in a little bit even. Um, but I'm completely on your side, really. I think it's completely overvalued, but it does have beautiful revenue growth. It does have beautiful customer growth. So um, I don't know, from what I see, like quarter four of customers 382, then from 320, and it only has recently become actually profitable, right? If we really like
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
it was like one
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
half years since it has actually become profitable,
And
and
also, if you look at, yeah. Please continue. Yeah.
the the net income in the most recent quarter actually went down heavily. And I think that might be a good indicator that it's a little bit stagnating. I don't know. It's not really a company that I'm looking in to buy. I should
Hmm.
have bought it when it was actually undervalued in this kind of scenario, like being at what, $5, $6, $8, something around there. So it
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
which is crazy. That would be a crazy return today. But obviously back then it was a lot cheaper, so more attractive. But I didn't buy it back then either because it wasn't profitable, I think, back at that time. So I don't know what to think
I
about
mean,
it.
um, so you and me, we always talk about this value investing, right? I'm not saying that Palantir is not going to become a huge company. It might. It might. It seems like it has potential, but it's not in a state where I would want to jump on the train, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like if they prove themselves like SAP or I don't know, any other tech company, does not matter, like well established companies, I will jump on the train. But at least this is too risky for me. I would say yes, it can bring a lot of returns and everything, but I feel like it's too risky for me. I feel like Palantir is one of those companies, like those quantum companies, like Rigetti Computers, those like quantum stocks. When Google came out with this Willow chip that they
Yeah,
had, like those quantum stocks just like went up
for no
to,
reason
too much
whatsoever.
percent, too much percent. Like it was like more than 100%, like too much percent, and they just dumped. So I feel like this is a bit of a gamble, if that makes sense. But yeah,
It's not.
we shall wait and see. That's what I can say.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think I mean, you say it's obviously maybe not the biggest company, but right now it's worth 250 billion, right, USD, which
Mm,
is crazy, I think, obviously with this high evaluation. But I think it's establishing itself, right? It's not been here for long, right, as well. I think it's setting a foot and it's really early days. And I think we got to give it time. I think it might be interesting if it drops back down, which I definitely think it will. This in
hmm
this kind of amount of growth in this short amount of time. I don't know. It's always followed by a stagnation, I guess, a little bit. Especially if these kind of new companies, they tend to grow a lot. It's like a similar company I have in my mind, I guess, is Snowflake. Although they are not
hmm
profitable yet, but they also deal with software and in the same kind of category. But also hugely overvalued, right? It's a company that I buy with a PE ratio of 250, right? So these companies are highly overvalued. And I think they just need a little bit of time, chill themselves into the market a bit. And then, I don't know, in 1, 2 years, might drop 50, 60%. And even though the revenue is still increasing and it has established itself, it might be a good buy now, in like 2 years' time instead of now. I think way too overpriced in my mind.
Yeah. It's way too overpriced right now as well. I mean, I don't know. We shall wait and see if it establishes itself and if they can drop the PE ratio. I'll jump on the train because tech companies, especially in the 21st century, tech companies are just like running the world. Like think about
100%.
you having one day without your phone or without internet. That's like impossible.
It would be better for all of us if you really think about
But
it, but yeah, nobody does it anymore.
yeah,
Um,
it's like tech companies are the future, tech companies are the past, present, they're everything. So like I like tech companies, but I would definitely not want to put my money on Palantir. I would choose another tech stock, definitely.
yeah, I would like a more stable one. Like for example, if we go
Hmm.
back to Google, right? It's been more
Yeah,
established and more control and been around longer in general and does great tech. And I
yeah,
think, yeah, Palantir comes with the risk, right? Being so highly overvalued.
yeah. Like for example, if you check it year to date,
Yeah, it's
Palantir increased
50%. Yeah,
47%,
it's
or like
crazy.
let's say 1 year,
Yeah.
354%. I want to check Google, like
Oh no,
just
Google is at like 1 year at like 35, 38, something like that. 33
yeah. You
actually.
see,
Yeah.
no. In 1 year, it's 24.39. Let's say 25.
Oh, because of its drop, of course.
Yeah. It's like 20, but like S&P 500, how much did S&P 500 decrease, to be fair?
Uh,
Increase?
30% maybe in a year now.
30%. So like in 1 year it increased. No. S&P 500 in 1 year it increased 20.57%. So what
Oh,
I'm saying is, okay, like maybe Google is not gonna give you as much return as Palantir, but you still beat S&P 500. And why would I want to risk my money with something, a non-established company like Palantir, where I can
yeah,
beat
yeah,
the
of course.
market with a well-established company like Google?
Yeah, no, true. 100% I
Do you see
agree.
my
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see my
No,
point?
no
So
need, no
like
need to
I
take
don't
the
know.
extra risk there and
Yeah, exactly. I'm already personally risky enough with crypto, so like I don't want to
yeah,
put in the stocks. I at least want to go on a safer side.
100% agree, 100%.
Yeah,
But I'll keep watching it. I think it's interesting. Of course, it keeps being
yeah,
interesting. Being 1,000% up in 5 years is crazy since its IPO.
yeah.
Um,
I agree.
but yeah, another stock which I mentioned earlier, I guess, if you want to continue, Xiaomi, Chinese stock, as we both
Yeah.
know. Yeah, man, I
Are they
just put
are
it
they
in the same
public in
category.
US as well?
Yeah, they are, should be. Um,
How do you spell Xiaomi? XI?
Xiaomi.
Um,
Yeah, I guess I put them in the same category because they both had a crazy run last year. Palantir beat Xiaomi over miles still, but I think 200%, 236 now is crazy, and it had another 5% run yesterday. Um, I don't know, man. I looked at this. We've talked personally. I think it's an interesting stock. Obviously, it's a Chinese stock, so for you, it's less so. Um, oh no, I check on Xetra, I think, by the
I
way.
think it would be on Xetra rather than, because I don't think that they are public on US, but I think in the German market they have a OTC
Yeah, in
part.
Xetra, you
Yeah.
Google.
They are. Yeah, exactly. So it's like OTC. They're not public there either. But yeah,
So yeah, crazy stock. Expensive as well. Obviously not in the same category as Palantir. I think they trade at like a 50 PE ratio now with their latest gains. And yeah, I guess interesting tech company. I thought, oh no, can you still hear me? Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
I can. No worries. I'm just like checking Financial Times as well
I
because I
know
couldn't find it on the other website, so I'm just checking Financial Times.
one of my earbuds died, but it's okay. The other one is still
Ah,
working.
uh,
Jesus.
mm.
But yeah, interesting tech company. Owned actually by me. I've held them for a very long time, and they've been making crazy gains since 1 year ago. Obviously, I think the main hype around this is the electric car. What do you think, man? Chinese electric car. I mean, obviously, I know your position on it, but just to get your opinion in the room, what do you think of the Xiaomi electric car? Have you looked at it, or have you seen pictures?
I haven't looked at it because you know of me. I just don't. I just don't trust enough into Chinese products in general. Even though we use it every day, right? We always talk about this, like we use Chinese products every day. I'm sure on my table right now, most of the things are made in China.
Yeah, right.
But
Even in the phones, right? The chips or whatever they
yeah,
use.
it's just like okay. Let me be honest with you. By the way, 1 year change of Xiaomi is 234%. That's mad.
It's
That's
crazy. It's
madness.
crazy.
Um, about Chinese tech companies, China is definitely is not the China that we knew like 20, 25 years ago, if that makes sense. Like,
Oh yeah,
uh,
100%.
yeah, like even 10 years ago, I don't think China was today's China. They really upped their game in terms of like technology, how they're advanced, how they use technology. I must admit, Asians in general are using technology way better than Europeans.
100%,
100,
bro. I was in
yeah.
China really early, or well, not really early on, but like 2016, 2017, when I was still in the UK, right? And
Hmm.
I've never seen contactless payment, I think, around that time yet. But in China, it's
Yeah.
such a normal thing for the last 15 years already. And I think, like, of course, it's a small thing, right? Like having contactless payment, or you
Hmm.
don't have to
No,
carry
but like
cash around, but it blew
that's
my
how
mind.
you
I don't know.
start.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And they have so
I
many
mean, like,
small things, like that.
yeah, the other day, one of like not my friend, but like I know the person. He's a German person, anyways. He told me that he went to China, and he told me that people were paying with their faces.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
just look at the camera and then it just deducts money from your bank account, which is like madness for me. And Karen went to Poland like last year, I think, and she saw some robots just bringing some food, and she was just like amazed by it. And this is, and if we go to China, it's just gonna be something else with the technology. It's just China needs to fix their political issues a bit.
Yes, of course,
And
politically.
yeah,
Yes.
politically, China is a bit questionable, but they are using technology really well, and that's what I think. That's the reason why I think that Chinese tech companies definitely has a potential. But until China fixes the issues with politics and everything, I am not going to be a big Chinese stocks fan.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it's a risk, right? With Chinese government being around. But I think, like in general, Xiaomi, I think out of a lot of the tech companies that China has, right? Um, for example, I believe Lenovo is also tech from China, right? I don't know. Maybe
I don't. I think it's Korea.
I think Lenovo is China. I believe so.
Let me
Um,
check. I'm not sure actually. China, China.
yeah.
You're right, China.
So last time I saw something really cool. For me, Lenovo and Xiaomi are like probably the top tier of Chinese tech because I think they're
Hmm.
the most well established. Xiaomi already has at least, I think, was it 15 or 16 years of age. So it's not like, oh, it's from 3 years ago, it's 2 years ago. Like, I don't know, like companies like, for example, Pinduoduo, like Temu, you know, hella scammy for me. Not even tech, right? But
Yeah.
I have this scammy nature to it. And of course, companies like this, I take a big fat circle around it. I think even if they were American or whatever, if they seem scammy, you don't like a company. It doesn't matter where they're from, right? But I think Xiaomi and Lenovo, I've seen an amazing video. I don't know, I might share that with you later quickly,
Hmm.
but I've seen these rollable laptops, bro. You can extend the laptop screen, and I was so blown away because I've never seen
I
it.
actually saw it the other day.
That's
I
that's
think it was on
Lenovo.
what Jimmy Kimmel show. One of
Yeah, 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 yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, exactly. The
yeah,
the
that
tech
one.
guy, the tech guy from that's Lenovo, bro.
Yes.
It blew my mind. It looked unreal. It looked unreal, bro. It's just
Yeah, I saw that
foldable,
video. Yeah, yeah,
rollable
yeah.
screen, right? And it's hiding
Yeah, it's
underneath.
and when it's like rolling up and rolling down, it's just like the screen changes so seamlessly. Like they integrated it so well.
Yeah,
I must admit, like I'm telling you, Asia in general, especially China, really good with technology. Is the only problem is China.
yeah, but like we talk about China being a problem, but I think in relation of the government, in contrast, for example, with Germany, the Chinese government is actually doing a lot more because they don't restrict you that much as a company. Of course, if you're on the bad side with the Chinese government, we don't have to talk about
That
this,
you don't have a
what will
chance.
happen, right? But on the other hand, you are encouraged to build new tech to compete with
Yeah.
America and Europe. And when I look at Germany's tech companies, whatever there is, I don't really know anymore. We're lacking, right? There's no innovation, there's no intuitive thoughts, there's nothing like it's just at this point, I feel like we are copying China sometimes. But like I don't know. For me, it's this is like what Lenovo does or whatever they're doing. They just implement it because the government supports you anyway. Right? You do new tech in China. I feel like I don't know. more technical advancement possible, without the restrictions
Definitely. Yeah.
of this stuff.
It's the like, let's not get into EU. Maybe we'll get into EU or European countries in general. I don't know what you have it on your list, but I'm sure you have some like European parts as well. You don't?
I don't know, man. I was just writing random stuff, honestly. So maybe
Ah,
that's it.
okay, okay. No, well, let's talk about Europe a bit as well. But EU in general just restricts you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what makes EU the great. So those like regulation restrictions makes the EU stable and like developed, right? But yeah, definitely EU needs to take a step back, look at themselves and be like, okay, we should, because okay,
I think,
EU is in the
yeah.
middle. There's Asia and there's America. America is using technology quite well as well.
Oh, no,
They're
100%.
technologically
Yeah.
advanced.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
100%.
Waymo, for example, they have like these like self-driving taxis now. This is definitely they are very advanced. China, on the other hand, we just talked about it, way more advanced than maybe America. And Europe in the middle is just like nearly living in the dark ages.
It's just that we restrict ourselves, I think, too much.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like even if
So,
you
yeah.
go back to this contactless payment, right?
Mm-hmm,
When they in China had it, of course, now we can say government restricts, but in China, obviously, the government just implements it and it happens. End of story, right? But in
mm-hmm.
Europe, we talk so much about it before something can change. Obviously, there has to
Yeah.
be a lot of discussion. And now, for example, where I'm from in Germany, in my country, they hate contactless payment, like especially older generations. Maybe you have that in Turkey
Yeah.
as well, but they love cash, right? And they love having real
Mm-hmm,
money
mm-hmm. Yeah,
because,
Turkey is a cash country as well. So
yeah,
like I can see the
it
suffering.
gives you freedom, right? Cash gives you a certain
Mm,
amount of freedom and not relying on your mobile phone to pay everywhere. But I prefer it as well. But these kind of stuff, I think, really are really restricted, and it's the same like with
100%. Yeah.
electric cars, for example, all these regulations. What you, and at the same time, Xiaomi is building an electric car which has the same, nearly the same reach as the newest Tesla model, but it
Hmm.
costs 29K, new 29,000. If you buy a Volkswagen electric or BMW electric or
So
whatever,
much more expensive. Yeah.
yeah, you get the vanilla car without any upgrades for 50K.
Yeah,
Like it, electric cars have become, I think, it's a luxury item. It's not cheap to buy electric car.
it's not.
It's
Definitely not.
crazy. So, but I think this kind of stuff I don't really slows us down as well. But yeah, I think coming back to the same problem, like talking about Volkswagen, what in a whole
Hmm.
Volkswagen is right now with the or all
Yeah,
German car brands in general.
yeah. Not only all German car brands, like Italy as well. Italy is really dependent on car manufacturing in general. It's one of those countries in Europe where they are heavily dependent on car manufacturing. And Italian brands are like Fiat. Those brands are like having big troubles as well because they cannot compete with their Chinese competitors
Yeah,
because
exactly.
EU is just like restricting them so much that they're actually like the Chinese companies. Italian companies are against EU at this point because they're like we cannot make any money because of some parliament members in Brussels.
Yeah, it's I think it's we're really cuffing each other hands like behind our
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. And it's I don't know, it's really but like you said, BYD, for example,
Hmm.
making an electric car. And then you have somebody from Hungary, right? They maybe the Hungarian government is a little bit closer to the China government as well,
Hmm.
especially
It
right
is.
geopolitically. But of course they work together. But why shouldn't they, right? If
Hmm.
Hungary realizes, oh, we can get electric cars for cheaper for our population, which can't afford really expensive electric cars anyway, I might as well. I don't see a problem with that. And by
Yeah,
a
like
Hungarian buying a
lately,
BYD
yeah,
is more
yeah,
realistic than a
lately,
Tesla.
I think BYD has a factory here. No?
Oh yeah, 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 they do. A huge
Yeah,
factory.
it
Yeah.
does, right? Because, I mean, since we last talked about it, when I just like walk on the streets, and we live in Budapest, by the way,
Yeah.
let's just mention that as well. So, in case people didn't understand that. Since we talked about BYD, I keep seeing BYDs, and I must say, which I don't like to say this, but I see more BYDs than Teslas.
That okay. I'm not sure about that one yet, but for me, honestly, I like the BYD look. I mean, China always has this kind of copycat vibe, with car brands.
Hmm.
Then the Xiaomi car looks a little bit like the Porsche Taycan, and the BYD also has a little bit of a Taycan vibe. Um, but I don't think it looks bad, honestly. I think the BYD looks great. I think the Xiaomi is a little bit okay. Maybe it's not personally my favorite taste, right? Um, but that's okay. I've seen ugly ass electro cars, and I'm sure you have as well, from
Hmm.
Volkswagen, or if you talk BMW i3, stuff
BMWs are
like
so.
the new EQ class from Mercedes with
Oh,
the long tail lights. I
oh,
think they're incredibly ugly. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
It's just as I always say about China. Like I always tell you this: would you buy a Chinese car or would you buy a Mercedes? People
um,
most likely will choose Mercedes most of
yeah,
the time.
if they have the money, I think. But that was my point earlier. Like in Hungary, like or like doesn't matter. Maybe Eastern Europe.
Hmm.
These
Hmm.
Chinese cars have a market because not everybody can afford a Tesla, or not everybody
Yeah,
wants to afford a Tesla, or these cars like from German car brands, electric cars, you can't afford anything under 50K if you buy new.
China just
Might as
needs
well.
to fix their look, fix their politics. I think they can be a huge player in the market, but not at this and not now.
Yeah, I think it's a time thing, right? They're
Yeah.
establishing themselves. Xiaomi started last year, right?
Hmm.
With the release of their car, and they sold 20,000 cars within the first hour. Um,
Hmm.
which like I feel like they're touching this market of low income, and I think there's always a market for them.
Hmm.
There's no other
Yeah, of
electric
course.
car companies is covering that, so they might as well. And I think that's a nice establishing site, and then they might produce more luxury cars, and then go higher price range. But
Let's
let's see,
see.
let's
I
see.
I personally wouldn't buy any Chinese car because I still don't trust the quality of Chinese products.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I think it depends. I think it depends. Also, the car has to be around for a while. I think Tesla, it was
Hmm.
the same. It had to be around for a while to establish some trust, right, into the brand.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I think I'd be fine with BYD. Maybe not Xiaomi yet, because Xiaomi hasn't been really around as in the car business. But BYD has been around for, I think, 7 years already. Seven, I think
Hmm.
even longer, if I believe, right?
I'm
From
not
my
sure. I don't really follow it, but if you say so.
sorry, BYD has been around since 1995, so it's a pretty old company. Damn, I didn't even know. Um,
But maybe
but yeah,
they were
they
just like
they made
restricted to
those.
China.
Yeah, they made those. I'm sure you can picture these minivans, these little minivans for 6, 8 people, like minibus vibes, and that was their. They
Huh.
were mostly, I think, in the past in logistics and stuff like this, logistic vehicles. But yeah, I think we'll see how it happens, but it's interesting, and I think Xiaomi will.
Yeah.
Let's see how their market performs.
What's the next stock?
Um, well, I don't really have any other stocks except interesting earnings that I find interesting for next week was the Coca-Cola earnings. I think that was the only thing I still had on my point list. I think we
Other
got back to
than
America.
UK food companies, I don't follow any other food related companies. I only follow Tesco and Unilever. Other than that, I don't follow any other food companies. But Coca-Cola, it's Coca-Cola, bro. Like, uh,
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at the Coca-Cola stock right now, it's been up a little bit, but it had
mhm.
this recent dip, right? And
The KO one, right? The
KO, yes.
symbol is,
KO, yes.
yeah, okay.
So in the last, what it was trading at like 70, between 70 and 75 US. So what was its all-time high?
Yeah, I see
73.
it.
Trading between 60 and 65 now. Yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
just looking at it. Of course, we don't have to explain what Coca-Cola is and what's behind it. It's an enormous brand, right? And how much actually is behind Coca-Cola. But if you look at revenues and earning
Mm-hmm.
calls and EPS, it has systematically beat every single time
Yeah.
for the last, I think, 10 quarters, or no, except quarter one 2021. But yeah, I think it might be undervalued. Oh no, since it always beats earnings, I
It's
thought it might be an interesting buy on the most recent dip.
it's trading in a 26 PE ratio, which is not bad, and the 2026 PE ratio estimate is 20. Seems like fine. Like this is I think Coca-Cola is one of those companies where you can call it value investing easily.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Kind of, kind
100%.
of, kind of a monopoly, because I don't think that Pepsi has that much of a market share as Coca-Cola.
I believe Coca-Cola is bigger, but I don't think there's
Yeah.
such a massive gap. But
Ah, okay.
Pepsi, I think Pepsi and Coke are pretty much the two major ones
Yeah, so
sharing the
it's like
market,
Visa
right?
and MasterCard. I would say this is a bit of a duopoly then. And I don't think this would be a bad company to invest in general.
You wouldn't find it interesting.
No, no, no. I
No,
don't think that it would be bad to
I
invest.
thought bad. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So these companies are just good companies. Like if somebody were to just like come up to me and say, "Oh, I bought Coca-Cola without looking at any
Yeah, yeah.
financials, any price, any dips," I would like, it's a good buy.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Worst case scenario, you'll just like lose money for a year, and then the next 5 years you're still gonna make money, I would say.
100% agree. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
just found it interesting because of the oncoming earnings and the recent dip. And yeah, I just thought maybe it's a potential gainer for next week. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if we're talking long term, anything like that, I don't think you can
When
go
i- when is when is
back.
their earnings?
From my knowledge, Tuesday before market opens. So yeah. But then
Tuesday
on
before
next week,
market. Yeah, it is.
next week we'll have some interesting earnings as well with
Yeah, next week we
Coinbase for
have
me.
McDonald's. Ah, Coin. Yeah, you own Coinbase as well. Yeah, let's talk about that a bit. I always tell you, and I will always keep telling you that rather than buying crypto itself, buying crypto companies in the exchanges, like in the stocks market, is a worse investment than buying the crypto itself.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably I don't know. I mean, remember when we kind of compare Bitcoin and Coinbase, right? Like a
Mm.
couple of months ago, we
Yeah,
compared it like year over year view, right? That's when
yeah.
Coinbase was up, but then a couple of weeks later, Bitcoin was up, right?
Bitcoin hit 100K.
So
Yeah,
I think in general they move pretty similar with each other,
more or less.
but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. For me, it's a quite risky. This is probably one of my risky investments, right? Not really value investing because Coinbase is overvalued as well.
Hmm.
But they do tend to make a shitload of money.
Yeah, they do.
They can come out with quarters where they create billions, right? And
Yeah, it's the yeah.
I'm really excited for next week's earnings because it's gonna reflect the last quarter of the Bitcoin session. And phew, I hope for good earnings. Let's see.
And to be
Coinbase is
fair, when I
unpredictable.
look at it before market open on Monday, there's McDonald's as well. I
Oh
don't I
yeah.
don't think there's big hype around McDonald's, but I would say it is like another value investing company like McDonald's.
Oh,
Like you have McDonald's anywhere.
100%. I think McDonald's is
I'm not sure about this information, so it might be a lie, but I would say even if you go to Chad, you would find a McDonald's, I feel like.
probably. But actually, Many people think the most stands a fast food company has is McDonald's, but it's actually Subway. Did you know that?
So, no,
They
no, no, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, 100%.
is
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I know. Yeah,
Subway has the most what do you call it? Um,
like
you know what
the
I
chains,
Yeah,
like the
chains,
stores.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
stores, actual store numbers. But yeah, of course, McDonald's, I think it's a no-brainer, right? It's always a buy.
Hmm. Next week also Thursday. Actually, not Thursday. Wednesday. Sony.
Yeah, Sony, whew, could be interesting, right?
Ah, Sony is interesting. Why is it interesting? Sony is one of those companies that is well established, but I feel like, which I'm not quite sure about, but I don't hear about them so much because I don't think that they're going so well.
So what Sony really does well, from my knowledge, I know, is cameras. They've really dominated the camera market in recent years.
Yeah.
So I know this because I love photography, right? You know me, like my hobby of mine.
Yeah.
But in the last 10, 15 years, if we go back 10, 15 years, the market was dominated by Nikon and Canon. And
Hmm.
those, if you had a Canon camera, EOS 5D or something on Nikon, right? Uh, you had the professional camera. But right now, I think Sony is the absolute king. So with the new lineup of cameras, I think that's where they really beat. But I don't even know if how much of their revenue is made up by cameras.
So when I check Sony, no, I checked it the other day because we had this talk years ago about how Sony big is and everything. I wanted to check where do they make their most money. I think they make their most money from PlayStation.
Oh yeah, of course. I completely forgot about
Which
this right now. The gaming
is,
console,
I would say, a bit
play.
sad because PlayStation 5 was a quite better release.
Yeah,
They
but
couldn't produce it and everything.
like, even though this when did PlayStation 5 release? 2019, 2020, something like that, 2018.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Even since then, like, I think the company has done well, right? Revenue has increased. Actually, recent revenue of 2024 has been beautiful. So I don't know, the quarter
Yeah.
trailing 3 months, it looks gorgeous. I think even the earnings per share is increasing, but I think the net income, has been stagnating. But the revenue has
I mean,
growing again,
it's
so I think it's a
questionable.
good
Like
sign.
it's not like increasing steadily, but it's more like stable. I
Yeah,
don't know. I would question Sony. I wouldn't buy Sony because I think there are better companies there. But if you look at the
probably.
price, right, of the 1 year price, it just increased 17.5%. Which, if you were to buy Sony, you were gonna lose money basically because S&P 500. Even if you were to buy just like S&P 500 ETF, you were gonna make more money.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
100%. Yeah, but then again, you might have years which go a little bit better or a little bit worse. But yeah, I think they have this revenue growth, but the net income is stagnating, and even though they have the revenue growth, right, which I
Mhm.
think is a little bit problematic, a bit. It's been now stagnating for the last 5 years. It has not reached the height of 2020 in again.
Yeah,
So I think that's a little bit of a warning sign. But yeah, in general, we know the company, right? Everybody knows the company. Long term, probably not a bad buy, right?
yeah. Long term wouldn't be so bad in my opinion.
Yes. So, what should we look at another earnings? I guess on Thursday.
I mean, on
Thursday we have
Thursday, I
Nestle,
don't like. I Yeah, we have Nestle and
Unilever,
Unilever, which are big companies. I
John
told you
Deere.
I follow Unilever.
Yeah, I also followed them. Also, I always found them very interesting. Um,
Yeah, like to be fair, I the other day I checked what do Unilever own. They own everything.
yeah,
Whatever
no,
snack, whatever snack you find in any grocery store, most likely it's from Unilever or
if
Nestle.
it if it's a drink that's not from Coke or Nestle, it's from Unilever. If it's a snack, it's most
Unilever.
likely not either from Nestle or Unilever.
Yeah,
Unilever is
exactly.
ginormous, bro. Ginormous.
They, as far as I know, they own M&Ms.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm
Unilever,
not surprised that they own everything.
and Ben and Jerry's as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think it's a big company as well, but I don't know.
It's the
There's no
same,
but
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
It's the same treatable as Nestle or stuff like this. Very
Mm-hmm.
very conservative, very basic stock, high dividend yield, right? I don't think you can
Mm-hmm.
go wrong long term, right? If you
Yeah.
put 10K in now and you check on it 30 years later, I think you'll be fine with a shitload of
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
dividends
I think
and
so as well. Yeah. Yeah.
should be
I mean,
okay. John,
we are going to see.
you know what I really find interesting maybe on Thursday is John Deere, and I've been looking at this. John Deere, the tractor builder.
I
And
remember you even sent me a reel about it on what's it
it's
called? But by the way, before we go past Unilever, if you were to hold Unilever for 5 years, you were going to lose nearly 4%.
yeah, excluding dividends, but yeah, it's not the best graph the last 5 years for Unilever, right?
Just saying, okay, John Deere, let's just continue with it. Really nice
Hmm.
tractor company.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've last 5 years, nearly 200% has been stagnating now. But what do you think when you check the ticker? I think there a growth trailing 3 months if it would load. Uh-huh. Sorry. If
What
it
I
would.
checking?
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I mean the revenue and growth in general. Just what
Mm-hmm.
do you think?
Yeah,
Is it an
it's
interesting
it's.
company?
I mean, revenue decreased a bit. No, no, no. Look, second quarter of 2023. Since then, it kept decreasing.
Yeah, it's definitely slowing down.
Yeah, definitely slowing down. And if you look at the free cash flow seems a bit questionable as well. So I don't know. I think there are better industry-like companies out there, but it's John Deere. I don't like. They are a bit of a monopoly, as far as I know. I'm not really into tractor business. I'm not anywhere close to farming, but yeah.
Yeah, no, neither am I. Just it's I don't know. Sometimes like these kind of stocks like come into your face. You see the huge spike, right? 200% gain,
Mhm.
and you want to investigate. I mean, the only thing I know about John Deere is like you have a sitting on lawnmower at home, from John Deere.
Mm,
And obviously tractors. And I know John Deere in the farmer's view is definitely like a
top notch.
luxury, yeah, top-notch luxury tractor, right? Uh,
Hmm.
like I don't think, I mean, they're not cheap, that's for sure. But again, I don't know. It's not really a monopoly. There's hella tractor companies like anything really. So I just found it interesting, graphical wise. I thought it was intriguing, and yeah, I mean, it has nice revenue growth, but it's stagnating a little bit. So let's see, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like this week is all about it. I don't know. We didn't talk much about EU or Europe in general, but maybe the next episode.
Yeah, maybe next episode, and maybe if something happens in the EU.
Yeah, maybe something
I,
like fun happens in EU. But
I,
yeah, let's see. Like, I don't
we
know.
got we got
Right
German
now,
elections
EU is
coming
a
up,
bit
I guess.
questionable. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's something looking forward to for EU wise. But yeah, I don't know. The German index hit a new all-time high last week,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
carried by SAP, maybe the strongest company in Europe right now, right? Or tech company, but yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. Maybe we'll
We'll see,
focus a
we'll
little bit
see.
more on Europe next week, right?
Next time, UK and Europe. They are, especially UK, quite interesting lately with Europe. Let's see. We'll talk about it. So
That's
I
good
guess
stuff.
that's all for this episode.
Good stuff. All right, then we call it from
Okay.
here. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Okay.
listening.
Thank you for listening, and see you in the next one, I guess.